Good morning, everyone. In the last session, we discussed about the few of the method which are available under this particular string class. So today we'll try to continue the remaining method which are available under this particular string class. Okay. The first method, if you observe, start with. So start with basically what exactly it will check here. If the given string, if any given string is going to start with this particular character or not, now it is going to check here. Okay. Now here, so here only we can write here. Whatever we discussed in the previous sessions, now I'm trying to comment out here. Now here, so what is the method I'm trying to provide here? Something like a start with string s is equals to something like this is the start with the string I'm trying to provide it. Now after this, here if you see, we are having a method called start with. Now again, start with is the overloaded method. Start with is basically it is a overloaded method. Now here this is expecting one parameter. The below method is expecting two parameters. Now what you can provide here? Prefix here. Look, prefix is nothing but is which characters are going to be started with. Now we are giving this particular begin characters here. Okay, and so here if you see offset here from like from this particular prefix here, so how many characters we want to match here, the second method is going to check here. So by default, now if you are not providing whatever it is provided, all it is going to be checked with this particular string here. Now here I'm trying to providing st. Now whenever I'm trying to providing this particular st, what is the return type? It is returning boolean. Now, so whenever it is trying to return as a boolean, what we can understand basically, this method, whatever the parameter we provided, based on the parameter, it's going to check here the given string is starting with this particular character or not. If it is starting, now it will try to return as a true. Otherwise, it will try to return as a false here. Okay. So we'll observe how this particular start with method is going to run here, how this particular start with method is going to run here. Now, here I'm going to put a breakpoint here because we need to understand how this method is going to be implemented here. Okay, so this is the equals method which is coming from the different location. Now here you can see start with method. Now I'm calling this particular start with here. Okay, let me run one more time because it is not went to inside this particular method here. So I want to put a breakpoint here so that it will went to this particular method here. Now observe carefully, what is the prefix we provided? Something like st. Now here what is saying here? This additional method, whatever we discuss here, along with the prefix here, now it is trying to start with this offset here. Okay. Now here basically from how many characters we want to check this particular start with method. Now here we are providing this particular offset value also. By default, this offset is 0. By default, this offset is 0. Now here you can see I'm putting breakpoint under this particular start with method, which is expecting two parameters. Now here you can see here what you need to understand offset. So it is not a less than 0. Okay, so if you provide less than 0 or this offset value, if you provide more than the length here, the current string, whatever we are going to pass here, more than this particular length, if you provide, this condition also it's going to be satisfied here. Now observe carefully what is the length it is trying to return first. What is the current length it's trying to return? Something like 9 here. Something like 9. So whatever this particular prefix dot length. Prefix dot length here. Now prefix dot basically length here st dot length, how much we'll get it here? 2 here. Now the current object we are having 9, whatever we are providing the prefix here, we are having 2 here. Okay. Now, so this particular condition is also not satisfied here. Okay. Now, another important section, if you see here, we are trying to go for the next line value. So what are the value we are having? Now, currently, whatever the object we created, so those objects are going to converted automatically as a byte format. Now, if you see, this is a byte format. Now, here you can see 0 to 8. 0 to 8 is nothing but 9 characters. What are the 9 character string we created? Now, if you go to this particular string demo, so you can read this, start with having 9 characters. Now, each character value we are converting as a byte format here, because here the byte is going to store as a ASCII value. So if you see 115, it is a small character value, small s character, small s characters. So same way here you can see h value, I value. So based on this, now whatever the ASCII value we are having, the particular ASCII value, now it is trying to return as a byte here. Okay. Finally, what you are understanding under this particular string class, whatever the string we are going to create, the string internally converting as a character, the character itself internally converting as a like byte format based on the ASCII value. So this is what we need to understand. Now, finally, we are trying to find out this particular byte value. After this, so here you can see prefix dot value. So how many prefix we are having? Only two. Now here you can see 115,116. Now 115,116. So here we are checking. Now after this, now we are trying to load the length here. So what is the PC? PC length is 2. Now what about this particular PO? Now by default it is trying to connect as a 0, because from 0 index onwards we'll try to find out this one. Now you observe coder we are checking, because both coders are going to be safe. Now we are trying to create an object with a string only. Okay. After this, here what we are checking here, if it is a Latin, now it will try to return as a two, like a two offset. So otherwise, now we are doing this particular bitwise operator to return the correct value. Now observe carefully here. What you need to understand here, by default it's is Latin is returning as a true. Now, whenever it is trying to return as a true, so whatever the two offset we are having, the particular two offset is going to be returned here. Now, what is the two offset value we are having currently? Something like a 0. The default value we are having 0. Now, after this, here we are checking PO. PO is 0. PC is 2. Here you can see PC is nothing but length here. Current the PA dot length here. By default, how many characters we provided to check the given string starting with or not. Okay. Now I given as a two characters here. After this, what I'm doing here, I'm checking the while loop. Now under this particular while loop, here we need to understand the if condition. So what exactly the if condition is doing? Now TA, what is TA? It is having 0 to 8 original object. Okay, 0 to 8, 0 to 8 to 9, nothing but original object. Now another one is PA. So PA we are passing to check the given string starting with this particular two characters or not. Okay, so inside this particular PA we are having, inside this particular PA what we are having here, two characters. Like this is the length of two characters. After this, what we are doing, we are increasing the index number. Here also we are doing the index number, but those indexes are not going to be satisfied. Now if you see, first condition is failed because both are same. Second also will become false. Second also will become false. Now third iteration. Now what you understand here? Here we are checking PO. So PO we are having 2. What about this particular PC? PC also 2 here. Okay. PO and PC. But here if you see this PO, here whenever this particular conditions are satisfying here, automatically PO is increasing. PO is increasing here. So two times repeated here, finally it is coming out of this. Now else block is not going to be satisfied. Finally, what you are understanding? By default we are trying to return as a true. By default we are trying to return as a true. But whenever this particular condition is not satisfied, because in the both sinks object. Now how these are checking basically, I want to show you with diagrammatic here. Now if you see, this is a 0 to 8 and this is a 0 1. Now if you see 0 1 2 3 4 6 7, as well as here we need a one more 8 also. Now what we are having here, ST. So this is the simple object we given. This is the original object. So something like 0 to 8 here. Now whatever we are trying to checking here, something like ST. Okay. Now if you see, this position and this position's objects are same here. So where we are checking? Here. The line number 11 here. Now what we are checking? So TA. So TA is nothing but, this is, we can call it as a TA, and this is, we can call it as a PA. Here you can see, now PA is referring to this, and this particular TA is referring to this particular array. Now what we are checking? Position. So 2. What is the 2 value initially? What is the 2 value initially? Here we are checking here. So if it is Latin, now 2 offset. What is the 2 offset value? By default it is 0. By default it is 0. Now what you need to understand here, so here 2. So 2 by default it is 0. Now after checking the condition, because here we are doing the post increment value, it will increment the values. Okay, it will increment the value. Now this is what we need to understand here. So whatever we are doing here, 2 and not equals to PA. So here by default this particular value is 0. In the 0 index location, this 0 index location and this 0 index location should not match. Then only this condition will return as a false. But whatever we provided, if you see S and S, in the both locations we are having same value. Because of this, condition is not satisfied. One more time this loop is repeated. Now whenever the loop is repeated, automatically this 2 value will become 1. Now here also we are checking in the first position, Tn we are checking, and here also we are taking T here. So in the both locations, again the second characters also it's matched here. Again second character also it's matched. Now in that case, so 2 value will become 2. Whenever the 2 value will become 2, here PC we are checking. What is PC? PC something like a PA dot length. Now what is PA? PA we are having only 2 characters. Now this length will return 2. Now here if you see, so now PO we are checking. So PO basically automatically it is increasing the value. Automatically it is increasing the value. So finally 2 less than 2. This condition we are checking under this particular while loop. So this condition is not going to be satisfied. Why it is not going to be satisfied? Because here we are repeating this particular 2 value, and the after the less than operator, whatever the one more operator we are using, so that is the value we are having only 2 here. Whenever the values we are having 2, now if we are having more than 2 value or 2 value, the condition will not satisfy because we are using less than. If we are using less than or equals to, so this particular 2 less than or equals to 2, it will become true. But whenever we are using this particular less than, this will return as a false, but this will return as a true. But this will return as a true. This is what we need to understand here. This is what we need to understand. Now after repeating 3, what happening basically, by default the below we are trying to return as a true. If you go to here we are trying to return as a true. Now what you understanding is, whatever the start with method we provided, now it is trying to return as a true. This ST now will return as a true. Now what you understand here, whatever we are giving, these 2 characters already here it is available in the same position. These 2 characters are already available in the same position. Because of this method is now it is trying to return as a true here. Now here you can see sysout and st. Okay, so first we'll see. So here it's trying to return as a true. Now what about the second one? For example, STA. So in place of STA, I am going to use STE. I am going to use so different character. Now if I am trying to run this, now you will observe here we are getting false. Now we are getting as a false because in the third character position. Now if you see this is the third character position. What happens internally? Here we are having basically A, but here we are having E. So these are the characters are not matched here. These are the characters are not matched here. So because of this particular third position, now the start with method by default it is trying to return as a false here. So same thing it will applicable for this particular end with. Now whatever we are having here you can see end with method I'm calling here. Now whenever I'm calling this end method, now what you need to understand here. So same logic, similar logic only we'll implement here. Now if here you can see, so this is a start with we'll remove here because we already identified. Now we'll go for only end with here. Now we'll go for this particular end with method. Now observe carefully how this end with is implemented. Now if you see end with here, internally again we are calling this particular start with method. Again we are calling only start with method, but the second parameter is important now. The second parameter is important here. Okay. Now what you are understanding basically, second parameter length we are having. So current length is 9. So this is a 9. Now what about this particular suffix dot length? Okay, suffix dot length what we are providing here? Here the suffix basically we are trying to providing as a width here. Okay. Now whenever we are providing this particular width, what is the length here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here 9 minus 4. Okay, 9 minus 4. Whatever the remaining value we'll get it as a 5. Start with method is trying to call with the last parameter as a 5 here. Okay. Now we'll see how it is going to be implemented internally. Now I'm calling this method. Now I'm calling this particular start with method here. I'm putting a breakpoint. Now observe carefully. Now whatever I provided, the second parameter, what is the value we are getting? 5. Here you can see 2 offset value we are getting as a 5. The prefix we are trying to pass as a width here. Now we are checking again this particular if condition. Again if condition. So what is a 2 offset value? 5. Now what about this particular length here? 2 offset length, how much we are having? 5. Now what about this particular, 2 offset, whatever we are having here we are having 3. Now length basically 9 here. Length basically 9. Condition is not satisfied. Now if it is a greater than, we are going to provide the minus here. But this condition itself it is not satisfied. Now coming back to the below section, 4431 line number. Now see value, original object, now prefix object. Now TA we are having 9, so 0 to 8. Now what about this particular PA? Now PA we are having 4 here. Here you can see 0 to 3, something like a 4. Now PA dot length will give you the 4. So coder will like here the coder will satisfy here. Now again it is satisfying here. Now what about the 2 offset value we are having? 5. 2 offset value we are having 5. So this is important here. Here we are going to get as a 2 value 5, but this PC we are going to get as a 4. So observe carefully. First one. So PO. What is PO? PO is 0. Okay. Now here you can see PO is 0, PC 4. So carefully observe. Now how the condition checking here? PC how much we are having? PC we are having 4. Okay. Now what about this particular PO? PO by default 0. Now how we are checking the condition? So PO. Okay. PO less than PC. Okay. Now here what we can identify, 0 less than 4. Okay, 0 less than 4. Now what is another important section we need to understand here? Here you need to understand here 0 less than 4 condition is satisfied because less than value is a bigger value compared to this particular right side here. Sorry, left side value. Okay, now after this what I am doing here, condition is satisfied. Here TA we are checking. So TA is the original object, PA is the given object to compare the method, like the particular string is ending with this particular with or not. Okay, now we are checking TA dot 2 plus plus. What is the 2 value we are having currently? 5. Here you can see under this particular TA, what is the 5? 119. Okay, 119. So same thing in the PA. Now if you see in the PA, what you need to understand here, in the 0 position, getting the point, in the 0 position, what we need to understand here, 119. Both are matching here. Both are matching here. Now 2 value. What is the 2 value? What is the 2 value currently we are having? 5. What is the PO value we are currently we are having? 0. 0. So here you can see 2, 5 value returning and PO returning as a 0. In the 5th position character, it should match with the 0 position character. Okay. Now it is matched here. Now it is matched. So second iteration. If it is matched here, so it will not go inside here because here we are using not equals to operator. Here we are using not equals to operator here. Okay. Now another important section here, one more time. On one more time we are checking the condition. So TO value. Okay. TO value we are checking here. Now how we are checking this particular TO value? What is the TO value? Now it is increased to 6 here. Here you can see it is increased to 6. What about this particular PO? PO also increased to 1 here. 1. Okay. Now here, this is you need to check here. 1 less than 4. Condition is satisfied. Now you need to check. In the 6th position value, it should match with the first position. Now in the TA, what is the 6th position? 105. Now in the PA, what is the first position? 105. So both are matching here. Okay, both are matching. Now again, it will not satisfy. So third iteration. So what is the condition is going to check? Now 3 less than 4. Condition still satisfied. Condition is still satisfied. Now again we are checking. So in the TO, in the TA array, 7th position. Okay, in the PA array, second position. So 7th position value, it should match with the second position. Now here you can see, second position we are having 116. Now this 116, it should match with the second position. So here we are having second position as a 116 here. So this is what we need to understand here. After this, now again we are checking. Now again last iteration, 3 less than 4. 3 less than 4, still condition is going to be satisfied here. Now whenever the condition still is satisfied, what I am doing it? Now we are checking again. What is the TO value currently? 8. The TO value 8. So this TO, this index 8, now we are checking under this particular TA. Now if you see 8 value 104, now it should match with the 3 index location 104. Now here you can see in the third index location also the 104 is now matching here. Okay, all the characters now we compared. All the characters we compared here. Okay, so finally we coming out of here. So why this condition is failing now? Because here 4 less than 4. 4 less than 4 condition will become false. 4 less than 4 condition will become false. So this is what we need to understand here. This is what we need to understand here. Now observe carefully here else section. Here else section. Now here you can see true. else section is also not satisfied. Finally, we are trying to return as a true value. So this is all about the important section regarding this particular end with method. So end with is also internally calling the same start with, but what is the different here? Offset value from which index onwards we want to check here. So that is playing an important role here. Okay, even you are trying to work with start with, or even if you work with end with also. Now finally, what you are trying to understand regarding this particular start with and end with method. Now here, if we want to check whether the given string is starting with this particular 2 characters or 3 characters, the same thing, whether the given string is ending with 2 characters or 3 or 4, whatever you are interested here. But here, the end with and start with both methods are going to be used as a string only. The parameter we need to provide as a string only. This is what we need to understand here. Okay, so this is what we need to understand. Now, if I'm going to run this, so two methods, first one is end with I'm trying to returning true. So the second one is line number 10, st. st is nothing but start with. So start with is failing. So because here ste we provided, but original string we are having sta. Because of this, it is failing here. Okay, any questions regarding this particular start with and end with methods? Still anyone having any questions? Okay. So now what you need to understand here, another important section basically, equals method. So in the previous example, we already discussed about this particular equals method. Now we need to see the differences between equals method as well as double equals operator. This is we'll call it as a operator. This is we'll call it as a method here. Okay, equals method it's going to be taken as a one parameter so that it will compare with the current object with the parameter whatever we provided. Now whatever this particular double equals to operator. So now what you need to understand here, this equals method internally one by one characters are going to be checking here. Okay, current object characters and method parameter whatever the value we are going to provide. So those value parameters are going to be checked here. Those parameter values are going to be checked here. Now another important section, what you need to understand here. Another important section, what we are going to understand here, this is very important here, double equals to operator. The double equals to operator basically what it will do, it will compare two objects here. It will compare two objects. For example, how we are going to use this new operator for the object 1 and object 2. Now here you can see this is the string object 1 and this is object 2. Now using this new operator, what happens internally, new references are going to be created here. So reference 1 and reference 2. So this reference information, if we want to compare here, now we can go for this particular operator, double equals to operator. But operators, every time it is going to check the both operator, like both the references should be same to check the given objects are same or not. If the references are different, now we cannot understand here these objects are same. Okay. If the object value itself is same, but references are returning as a different, we'll treat as a these are the two different objects. Okay. So this is the differences. Now what is the main difference? Here the double equals operator, it will check the object references. Object references is nothing but wherever these objects are going to create it, so there we are going to have a path here. Okay. Now by default, all the objects we are going to create under the heap memory. In the heap memory, we'll have some references to identify the object here, to identify the object informations. So this is what we need to understand the differences between these two methods. Now observe the simple example how this particular equals as well as double equals operators are going to be used here. So now I'm trying to comment out this start with, end with methods here. Now another important section, string s1 is equals to hello. String s1 is equals to hello, I'm trying to providing it. Now string s2 is equals to here new string. Now here I'm trying to providing s1. Sorry. So carefully observe here what I'm doing here. The first string we are using the literal concept here. Okay. Second one we are using string new operator, like whatever the new operator, with a new operator we are trying to create a object here. Now how we are going to compare this? So if you observe carefully how we are going to compare this particular string values here. Now here the first one I am calling the equals method. I am calling equals method s1 dot equals to s2. Okay. Now second one I'm trying to check s1 equals to s2. Second one I'm trying to check s1 equals to s2 here. This is what we need to understand here. Now if you run this example, first one is returning true, second one is returning false. First one is returning true, second one is returning false here. So this is what we need to understand here. This is what we need to understand here. Now why the first one is returning true and why the second one is returning false? Okay, basically here what I suggested here, equals method internally, it is going to check each character. Each character is matching with the current object or not. Okay, so this is, we'll call it as a current object. Now this is, we'll call it as a method parameter. Now what we are checking basically here, here we are checking with this particular information. Okay, so original object and like original object, method parameter object, both we are checking. But if the both are same, this equals method will return as a true. Now here both object locations we are checking. Both object locations we are checking. Here both objects locations are different here. This will create in the string pool. Now this will create in the heap memory. Okay, so these two are different here. Because of this, now this double equal to operator is itself, it is returning false. Now this is the string equals method, it is trying to return as a true. This is what we need to understand here. Now another important method we already discussed in the previous session, compare to method. So compare to method, how it is going to check here. So this is what we need to understand. Now if we observe regarding this particular compare to, here what I will do, I'm commenting this equals method as well as double equals operator. Now I'm opening again the same value. Here s1 dot compare to. Here you can see s1 dot compare to. Now what you need to understand here. So compare to, basically what are the value now it will return. Now if you see the method, now it is trying to return as an integer. Okay. Now this is the public access modifier, method return type, name of the method, and is expecting the parameter. And it is expecting this particular another string as a parameter. Now what you understand finally, what you are understanding finally, basically here we need to understand the important information about the how the compare to method is going to check and how the integer value it is going to return here. How this particular integer value it is going to return here. Okay, so observe carefully. Now here we need to provide the another string. Now whenever I'm providing another string, Now we need to understand internal implementation of this particular compare to method so that we can easily understand how it is going to checking this particular compare to method. So for this purpose, what I will do, string ARR I'm going to take it. Now I'm trying to come up with the object here. So random values I'm trying to check here. Now is something like the and some. Okay. So the last string I'm using this. Now observe carefully. This is the string array values we are having. Now what I'm doing is, now I'm trying to check this. So using this particular array, we are trying to call this compare to method so that we'll identify how this particular compare to method is going to be work here. Okay. So to compare this here, so this is a reference I'm checking and this is a ARR checking. After this, I'm going to check is, so the dot to compare to COM I'm going to pass. Now if it is greater than 0, if it is greater than 0, so I will do this println set. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything. So simply empty I'm trying to print. But before going to print empty, now what we need to check basically here, how this compare to is going to be implemented internally. How the integer values are going to be written. The integer values basically it will return, like it will try to return as a positive values greater than 0. Okay, sometimes greater than or equals to 0. Sometimes greater than or equals to 0 and less than 0. So what you need to understand totally here, I am trying to explain positive value, something like 1 equals 0 value and negative value. So these are the values are going to be returned here. This compare to method internally, it will try to return as a positive values, it will return 0 also it will return and negative value. So based on our requirement, these values are going to be returned here. Okay. Now we'll see how it is going to be implemented internally. How it is going to be implemented internally. Now I'm coming out of this particular method because earlier we discussed about the start with and end with here. Now finally we came back to the ARR. Okay. Now I'm checking. Now here if you see this, what is this particular com it is returning? Currently now. Currently now value. Now value I'm trying to check with this particular the. So THA. Okay. We'll see how this compared to now it is going to be implemented internally. Okay. I'm trying to put a breakpoint here. Original value. So how many original value we are having? Only 3. Because with the original values only we call the comparative method. So don't confuse here. If you go to here, this is will treat as a original object. This is will treat as a original object. Now this is will call it as a method parameter. But how we are calling this method parameter? With the original object only we are calling. Now if you see here, using the new operator, the string we did not create an object here. Getting the point? So here just simply we are doing the literal concept here. So using the string literal concept also, now we are able to call the methods which are available under this particular string class here. Which are available under this particular string class. Now what we need to understand basically, what we need to understand basically here, you need to understand this particular compared to. So now going back to here, compared to here we are having another string dot value. Another string dot value, what we are trying to return. Original value we are having, these are the 3. Now this is the parameter value, something like these are the three. Now we given. Okay, capital N value 78. These are the small characters. Okay, same thing here. These are the all the small characters here. So we identified B1 and B2. After this, what we are checking here? Coders we are checking. Now if you see, coders are satisfied here. Now automatically is Latin also now satisfying. Now if it is satisfying, what we are doing here? We are calling the compare to. Now what exactly this compare to method will do? What exactly this compare to method is doing here? Now if you understand here, now if you understand basically, if this particular given string is less than or equal or greater than, how we are going to check basically? How we are going to check this particular basically here? Greater value. Greater value we are checking here. Now if you see, if I'm trying to check this compared to 38. 38. Now, so 38 is a positive value. So whenever it is positive value, what we can check here? The given string, now it is greater than the original string. Okay, whatever the original string we provided, so now it is a greater than values of this particular d here. So this is the way we can check this particular compare to. Now compare to is returning 38 here. So this 38 is greater than 0 only. It is not a less than 0. So because of this particular greater than 0, it is satisfying the true. Now we'll print this particular statement here. But what you understanding here, if any value is greater than, we are checking the greater than 0, or if it is less than, we need to check this particular less than also. Now, so greater than value. Else if. So else if, what we need to check basically here, same I'm trying to check here, same compare to method. Now here we are going to provide comp. Now it should be less than 0. Okay. Now I want to check what are the equal values. Okay. Now what you need to understand basically here, so both values are equal. Now I'm trying to run how many values are equal, how many values are greater than, how many values are less than. Now you can see, so greater than, both values are equal. Okay, so which value will equal? This particular d. Okay, after this, so all are the greater values only. All are greater values only. So this is the way we can check given string is a bigger string or a smaller string. How we are checking? With the help of this particular compare to method. Okay, this is also important method we need to understand here. Now we are providing this particular string, but when we are trying to discuss about the collection related, so there we'll try to provide the parameter as a based on the data type. Based on the data type we are going to provide. So we'll see the later regarding this particular compare to. Compare to method is coming from the one of the interface called comparable. Now if you see this string class now internally is implementing one of the important interface called comparable. Now comparable is having one method. Comparable is having this particular one method called compare to. The same compare to we are discussing here. Same compare to. But here, what is the parameter we are passing? String. But if you go to this comparable, now what we are having? Type here. So generic type. Now whenever you are trying to implementing this comparable, what we can do? Based on the data type, you can provide the specified parameter value. Okay. Now if you see in under this string class, they are providing the type as a string. Now same thing, comparable, in place of string, if you provide the person, the two person object we are going to check. Two person subject we are going to check. If you provide the integer, two integer value we are going to check, which is a greater value. Okay, so based on our data type, the comparable, now it is going to be replaced here. So this is what we need to understand here. So basically, the purpose of this particular compare to method, it will try to check given object is a less than object or greater than object or equal. Both are equal values here. So still any question regarding this particular compare to as well as whatever we discuss on the equals and double equals to operator. Anyone having any question? Okay, so observe carefully. Now another important section, what you need to understand here, searching string. So as of now, we discuss about the index related operation, comparing operation. So greater than less than operators we identified here. Now we need to identify the, so given character is available or I want to search strings basically. So how we are going to search based on this particular index number. Now we are having one method called index of. Based on this particular index of, now we can identify the which character or which string is available. Now so same thing for last index of. Last index of method is one and last index of method is another one. Now if you see, so both will take care of here integer related and string related parameter. Now observe how many methods we are having basically. Like any methods we are having overloaded method. Overloaded methods also important here. Basically based on our requirement, we can provide the different parameters whenever we are having overloaded method. So let's observe simple example on this. Let's observe simple example on this particular index of last index of method. Now, how I'm trying to check this particular index of and last index of here. So I will copy index of method. Okay. So this is the index of method we are having. Now I want to copy this message. Single line. Okay. Here I'm going to provide this the same message. Now if you see what is saying here, returns the index within this particular string of the first occurrence of specified character. What is saying basically, whatever the character you are specifying here, if it is identified in the given string as a first occurrence, so then it will return the particular character here. Okay. Now we'll observe how this index of method is going to be work here. str dot index of. Now if you see index of method, first one is written like is expecting as a integer, the second index of which is expecting as a string, and third index of basically is expecting two parameter ch like integer comma integer. Now original whatever the original position we want to provide, and from which index onwards we want to check the given index here. Okay, from which index onwards we want to check the given value. So second one also same, whatever the string we are going to provide, from the which index onwards we want to check, we need to provide this particular from indexes. So first we'll discuss about the index of, and later we'll go for this particular last index of, let's see, I'm providing something like a 45. I'm providing something like a 45. I will put a breakpoint here. Now I'm going to run the same example in the debug mode. Same example in the debug mode here. So now observe how we are going to identify here. Index of. Okay, now I want to call this index of. Now internally, this is the index of. Now from index, by default 0. By default, what is doing it? It is trying to check from the 0 index here. Now what you are doing here, again we are calling this particular index of. Now we are providing the ch value. So this particular value now will check from this particular original object here. Okay, now it will try to compare the value from the beginning itself here. Now let me put a breakpoint here. Now we'll call this. So what is the ch value we provided? Something like a 45 we provided. From index basically it is a 0. Now this Latin, string Latin, what is doing it? This is the string we are having currently 0 to 02, so 99 plus 8 here, so 107. So totally it is trying to providing 107. Now what is the size of the given string is 108 here. So 108 characters are we store under this particular given string here. Now what I'm doing is, what is the character we are having? Character in itself internally it is converting as integer. Same thing it will try to convert as a character. So in the Java, based on this particular integer and character, both are going to be similar. Automatically it will convert the value. Okay, so now observe value. What is the value we are having? Now we identify 108 characters. So ch 45. Now from index 0. From 0 onwards, now we are going to check the 45 character basically. Like 45 is the ASCII value. For the 45 ASCII value, whatever the character we are going to get, the particular character now we try to load here. Okay. Now we'll see what is the index location we are going to get here. Now -1. -1. Now what you understand here? It is not identified in the 108 positions. Whatever the 45 you given, the particular value, it is not available under this particular 108 characters. So it is returning -1. If it is available, it will return some positive value. Okay. So now if you see, second time we'll call the same one. In place of this particular 45, now what I'm doing is I'm trying to return as a character here. Okay, character I want to return as I. So carefully observe here, this given I, now it will check from this particular 108 character. If any character is identified at first time, the I character is identified first time, now that will return the first index here. Okay, now if you see, here we are having I, here also we are having I, so here also we are having I, and this also I, getting the point. So we are having number of I, but what it will do? So this is the first I value which is available in the which position, like which index location, it will return here. Now if you see system.out.println, now I'm trying to print this particular given I value. Print this particular given I value. Now, so carefully observe, I'm trying to run as a debug here. Okay, let me stop and rerun this. Now if you see, what is ch value? Okay, we are not calling from the our class here. So this is we are calling from within our class here. Now index of now is Latin. Let me go for this and execute this method. Now if you see ch, what is the ch value we are getting? 105. Now why we are getting 105? Why we are getting 105? Because for this particular given character, it is having the ASCII value as a 105. Okay, whatever the given character we are having as I, the I ASCII value we are having as a 105. Now this 105 is available. If it is available multiple times, now we'll try to check as a first occurrence here. Now if you see, this is the value. Now where we are having 105, now if you see here 104 we got it here. Now 105 we are having. Now which index is going to return? 12. Which index is going to return as a 12 here. So we'll see whether this particular 12 it is returning or not. Okay, whether it is trying to return as a 12 or not. Now here you can see 12 we are getting. Getting the point. Now what you understand here, whatever the character we are want to check here, in the which position this particular character is available. Which position the specified character is available. Now if you want to go for the index of basically which will return first occurrence. Okay, first occurrence. And if you want to identify the same character in the last occurrence. Same character in the last occurrence. Now if you see, same I'm trying to copy and I'm calling in place of this particular index of, we are having last index of, now same I value. Same I value I'm trying to print. Now if you see, now if you see, 12 is the first occurrence, 105 is the last occurrence. Now how many characters we are having totally? 108 here. Now if you observe, what is a 105? So this is the last occurrence of this particular I. Okay, whatever we are checking, now it is returning correct value or not. Now you can see 6, 7. So 0 to 107, it is become 108 values. The length itself it is returning as a 108 here, but indexes will start from 0. Because of this, now what you need to understand basically here, you need to understand the last occurrence of this particular I value here. Okay, these are about the differences between index of as well as last index of method. Now we provided only integer related parameter. Now we need to provide the another important section called string related section, because the index of method is overloaded. First method is expecting integer related, so in place of integer we can provide the character. Now another method, in place of this particular integer we are going to provide as a string here. We'll see how this particular string is going to be implemented here. Here str dot index of, now I want to provide the index here. Now I want to provide the index here. So we'll see how this particular index of method will work here. So we need to identify the what is the differences between this here. Now if you see value and str value. So here this is the original value object. Now inside this particular original object, what we are checking? The given object value. Given object value we are checking here. So within this particular given value is available or not here. Now another method. So see carefully condition how we are checking. I am trying to copy here. This is for string related condition. Now if you go to this, now this is for character related conditions. This is for character related. Now what are the additional parameters we don't have? What are the additional parameters? Now if you see here, value same is matching with the value original object. Now second parameter str dot value, in place of str dot value what we are checking? Character. Here also same, but here is coming as a group of characters. We are trying to check with the string. Now it is coming as a group of values. Now another one, here we are checking only character. Now additional parameter which is available for integer, but for the string we don't have additional parameter. Only we are having two, but here we are having three. but here we are having 3. So this is what we need to understand here. This is what we need to understand here. Now observe carefully. So the differences between character related method and integer related method. So what is the differences we are having basically? For the character related one, from which position we want to check, that is also we are having. But for this particular thing, the concept is no longer available, because it will try to check given object is matching with the original object or not. Okay, that is we need to understand here. So now go back here. Now we need to understand the index of how it is written in here. Let's run this example as a run as 12, 105 and 12. Okay, 12, 105 and 12. Now this I is playing as a first index role only. Even though you are giving this particular entire string, but internally what is checking here? Something like a I value. Something like a I value here. So this is what we need to understand here. This is what we need to understand here. Now another important section, last index of. Last index of here. So same thing we can pass whatever we are check as like in the index of character, last index of character. Now if you see, I'm trying to check with this particular with here, but here, so this particular character will give you the different number. Earlier we are getting as a 105, but if you see 104, 104 we are getting. Now what is a 104? It is a position. Okay, it is a position. 105 we got as a I, 105 we got as a I, but 104 we got as a W. Why we are getting 4 like 104 here? Because here we are checking with W here. We are checking with W here. In the previous the character related method, now we check only the specified character here. Now here we are checking only given string. So this is differences between string and characters here. Okay, so any questions regarding this particular index of and last index of with the characters as well as string here? Okay, now so if we don't have here, now I'm stopping the session up to here. Now we discuss about the index of related. Now we are having modifying strings. Like here, the index of and last index are basically searching. Like I want to find out the given character location or given string location. So using this index of method, we can search this particular strings related stuff. Now what about this particular modifying here? So if you modify something, again it's going to be created as a string object here. So those will check in the tomorrow session, something like a substring method. Again, substring is also one of the, or again the substring will have a overloaded method. Now we need to discuss about the concat replace method, some string related method we are having. So that we'll discuss in the tomorrow session. So mostly we'll try to complete the our string related. So once we complete, we'll go for the string buffer classes here. Okay, I'm stopping the session. We'll continue tomorrow.